Okie doke. So we have finished putting our last, you should have ended putting your last 4 beads here and in here and exited in your pearl. So I'm exiting in my pearl, and now I'm going to put my bail on. And what you want to do is you want to go back up through your 8 beads so you can clearly see the thread. You may not see it in the video, but when you have your work in front of you, you'll be able to see the thread where it goes into your 8 beads. So what I want you to do is go into the 5th bead. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, into the 4th bead. What am I thinking? So go into the 4th bead and come out of that 4th bead at the top. Now you're going to pick up 2 of your 11-ohs. You're going to go down from the top to the bottom of the next bead, because you're going to do some herringbone. So go from the top to the bottom and sit those 2 beads on top. Now they'll be all right once we get our first stitch done through here. So go from the bottom through that bead you were just coming out of. So you're exiting out of this bead here. Go back up into the bead you came out of, which would have been the 4th bead, and pull your work. And now your work, your beads will be sitting up on top for you to go into your, step up into that bead there. Okay, so you're just beginning your herringbone stitch. Pick up 2 more 11-ohs, go down 1 bead, cross over and go in, well, not cross over, but go over into the next bead and go down into the 1 bead, and bring those 2 beads and sit those on top. Now you'll bring your thread over. You can see you have to go up into here, so you're going to go down 1 and up 2. So go up into the new bead you put into. So you're going into 2 beads and you're exiting out of that bead that you just put on. Pick up 2 more, go down 1 and go up 2. So I'm going up into 2 beads and pulling. Pick up 2, go down 1 and up 2. So like so. Okay, we're going to just fold our bail over. Actually, my bail's kind of squished, but your bail's going to turn out like this. And you can make your bail as big as you want it. I'm making it big enough because eventually I'm going to do a tutorial on how you can incorporate all your beads that you have in this pendant will be in a beaded, well, kind of like a chain that'll go through your bail up here. So that's coming. Just haven't figured out how to do it just yet. I haven't worked on it really, to be honest with you. So pick up 2 11-ohs, go down 1 and up 2. So all you're going to do is continue doing this to the length that you want. So when you fold your bail over, you'll have the loop size that you want. Okay, so when you fold it over to the back, you should have the proper loop. So I'm going to go off, finish doing my herringbone here, and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so I've gone the length that I pretty much want. So when I fold my herringbone over, I'll have my loop that I want. Now this is the back of my work, so you're going to work from the back right now. I'm exiting out of this side of my herringbone, so I'm going to go back into the bottom first bead I went into, and then you're going to go all the way up into every one of your beads in the herringbone. So you're just making a circle. Okay. Okay, I've gone through every bead, including the first one, so it would have been the fourth bead. You're going to go back up, because now we're going to tighten up our flimsy bail. And then you're just going to close your circle by pulling your thread and pulling it tight to the base. Okay, like so. Now cross over, go all the way up, all the way through into the next side, all the way through the beads. Oopsies. Okay. Go through them all. I'm going through all the beads, including the one on the base where I've started my herringbone in, the first two beads, and pull that nice and tight. Okay, then you're just going to go back up and make a circle and go through them one more time on the same side that you're going. I'm going up in here because I want to join that now to the base like this, pulling nice and tight. Right now it's not quite joined, but it will be once we go through this again, all our beads again, pulling tight. And coming out of the bottom. Now pull that tight. Go back up into this bead. Ouch. So go through a few beads like this, and then just go over and go down into the other group of beads. And then go back up into this beginner bead and go through this side again now. So that means you've gone through both sides twice. And it's going to be challenging. A little challenging. So you can only go through a couple of beads, then so be it. I can only get through 4. But we want to secure a bail. Because the last thing you want to do is lose your pendant. Because your bail broke. And then you'll be cussing me. So. Okay, so now you've completed your bail, and it should be good and secured. So your bail should be on nice and snug, and your hole and your loop, however big you wanted your loop. Mine's this big. But again, I want to make a chain, so I want to figure out a way that the chain will fit through the bail no problem. So you can actually put a nice thick chain through this too. Now I've exited out of this bottom bead where I'm working out of, and I'm just going to go down through those last beads here in the row of 8 and then go back through my pearl. Now I don't have enough thread on my needle to do the fringe, so I'm just going to tie off this piece of thread because it's not going to be long enough to do my fringe. So to tie this off, I'm coming out of my pearl. I'm just going to start going through some beads, and I'm going to start tying some half-hitch knots. So here I'm where the groups of 3 is. So there's 1 wrap, 2 wraps, pull tight. I'm going through the 3 beads. under there. 1 wrap, 2 wraps. Oops, don't you dare do that. It went right between the wrong beads. Fantastic. I don't know if anybody makes mistakes like this or if it's just I'm just a dork or what. Because I'm telling you, do you know what that's going to be like to get out of Nymo thread? Yeah, it's going to be nasty. So you know what? I really don't care. It's just going to go in behind at the back of that bead. And I'm just going to go through. Wow. Talk about cutting corners. But it's hidden there now anyway, so you can't really see it as long as it's not at the front. So let's try this again. And make sure you don't catch your beads. That's really not good ethic. And I'm going to go through this pearl. Actually, I'm going to tie another 1/2 inch knot here. Then I'm going to go through the pearl. And then I'm going to cut this off. If I can get through the pearl. There we go. Alright. Cut her off. Let's get a new piece of crappy Nymo. I'm going to cut it about 1 yard long. Just because I don't remember how much I need for the fringe, so better to be safe than sorry. And then I'm just giving this a little pull, stretching out the Nymo to take all the little curl and ringlets out of it. And I'm going to thread my needle. Like so. Whoa. I had it. And it fell out. There we go. Okay, so let's tie on this new piece of thread, and we finished over in this pearl, so I'm going to go through this pearl. So I'm going to go from the back. So I'm going to just pull my thread through, and I'm just going to tie a nice beautiful knot there, because I'm not going to be going through this pearl again, so I'm going to wrap my thread twice, make a surgeon's knot. Pull it tight. And one more. There we go. Now let's pull this knot inside the pearl, if we can. Probably pick the pearl that I'm not going to get. Oh yeah, look at that. Got it. So pull that knot inside. Now I'm just going to tie a couple of 1/2 inch knots on my way down, and I'm going to cut that tail off. And I'm going to go through some beads. Just tying 1/2 inch knots here and there. And then I'll know my tail is safe and it's secure. And my work's not going to fall apart on me. One more. Whoops. Missed. Okay. Oh, no, you don't. There you go. Alright, so let's get through these beads here and exit in that pearl at the bottom. Actually, I'm going in the wrong direction too, I think. Let me just see here. No, doesn't really matter, really. But I did go into the wrong bead, so I need to go out of this bead. And now I'm going back up into my 8 beads in the bottom. and I'm going to exit out of the 8th bead. Okay, now this is for your fringe. So looking at my piece, if you're going to add this fringe, make sure you're exiting out of that first 11-0 in the group of 8 here. So it should be in this one here. Okay, wait a minute, what did I do? So when I put my fringe on, I'm going to go through the bead that way. Yep, oopsies. No, don't be exiting there, go back to the first bead. I probably snagged my thread, I don't really care. So, I'm not exiting in the right bead, and I need to be in the first one, which is there. Okay, that's the problem. So I am going to go through these beads here in the front. I'm going to tie a half hitch knot through those beads there in the middle, and I'm going to cheat and go back this way. And pull it tight. Now I'm going to exit in this direction. I want to be going in this direction towards the 8. So go into the first bead. Holy cow, after all this, I made this so complicated looking. Jeez. There we go. Go in that bead there. Alright, now we're in the right bead. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should be 8 beads. You should be able to see your threads going into your pearls, so you know those are the 8. So in this fringe, I picked up 5, a crystal. I started with 5, then I picked up 6, 7, and 8. So let's pick up exactly what we have there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get my crystals over here. Okay, so pick up 1 crystal, 1 seed bead, and 1 crystal. Pick up 5 more, let those fall. Pick up one of your flower cups and pick up 1 11-0 and let those all go to the bottom. You're going to skip this last bead you put on and go back through the flower cup and all the seed beads, the 2 crystals and all the beads. Okay? And you've gone through all of them. You're exiting out of your bead on this side, so you're just going to come around, make a circle, and go through the bead this way, and then go through to the next bead. In that, like that. See? Exiting here, I'm going to enter into the first bead and enter into the second bead, so I can begin my fringe over there. So in order to do this, hold on to that last bead and you should be able to pull it up to your, don't pull it too tight that it's going to warp on you. Okay, pull it so it just dangles nicely. There's a nice amount of give in that, and just let it hang. And don't have it twisted like that. So pull it nice. For some reason my threads. Ouch. Wow. My thread is bunching up right there and I don't know why, so. Well. Alright, so I've got one fringe done. pick up six more on the next 2, 4, 6, 1 crystal, 1 seed bead, 1 crystal, 6 more, and your flower cup, 1 seed bead. Now you're going to go back up through all of these. Whatever you do, don't miss any in this line, because you'll see your thread where you've missed. I'm experienced at it because I've done that. And go through your bead again, so going back towards into this first, into the bead you're coming out of, go and make a circle, go back through and go into the next bead. Like that. So you're going through 2 beads. You're going back into this bead and out into the new bead. And pull. Uh-oh. Now. Alright. Now let me fix this fringe here. Pull this up. And there's fringe number 2. And make sure it's pulled nice and tight, but not too tight, that it doesn't dangle nice. You want your fringe to dangle. You want it to go Tic Toc. I'll show you one more time, because when you get, I'll show you up to the 4th bead, and then you're gonna be able to do it, repeat exactly what I just did. So pick up 7 beads. Seven beads, a crystal, an 11-0, a crystal, 7 beads, 7, your flower cup, an 11-0, bring those down, skip your last bead you put on, your 11-0, go back up into the flower cup and all the beads again. And then go back through the bead you're coming out of, and then into the next bead. And you kind of have to push beads out of the way to do that, then so be it. Uh-oh. That's a snuggy tight bead. And sometimes it helps to have a pair of pliers handy. And I don't have pliers handy. So I'm just going to try and do this with my hands. And just wiggle it a bit. Hopefully I don't bust the bead. Oh boy. I'm going to have to get a pair of pliers, because that's just not going to work. That's really snuggy buggy in there. But we've got some tangling going on here. That's why it's always good to keep your work laid flat when you're doing fringes like this. And that way your other fringe doesn't get snagged up into your work there. So let me get the seed bead here. Pull this thing. Wow, this is just giving me problems. Okay. Goodness gracious. Doesn't want to pull up. And I don't know why. It's probably all twisted. There we go. Alright. boy, I did a boo-boo here. I wonder that's cupping like that. I'm gonna have to fix that when I'm finished. Even I make a ton of mistakes. Okay, so now we've gotten 3 dangles on, not pulling them tight, just enough that they're up against the bead and you don't see a lot of thread. Okay, so now you're going to pick up, we picked up 5, 6, 7, we're going to pick up 8 beads. A crystal, 111.0, a crystal, and 8 beads. A flower cup, and an 11.0. Now, let those fall. And this time I changed up the color of my crystal. I put my light amethyst on. And you're going to go through the cup and all your beads. And this is going to be the last time you're increasing beads now. Okay. And go through those. Through this one. And now back through the same bead and into the next bead. And I could see my needle going into all of them. Okay, and then pull that very lightly, slowly, carefully. Not snagging any out of your fringe in there. And there we go. Right, so there we have 4 fringes done. So in the next remaining 4 beads, you're going to repeat everything you just did here. You're going to mimic this entire side. You're going to do the 8, increase on both. You're going to do 7, 6, 5. And you're going to get that done, and I'm going to come back once you get to your last bead. You should have 4 beads left, and I'll show you how to tie off your pendant, and I'll be back. Okay, so now we've completed our really lovely dangle. And before I tie this off, what I did over here, as you can see, this is not sitting right. I skipped all 3 of these beads in here and put these beads on without going through those 3. I went straight from that middle bead. So I'm going to try and correct that. So all I'm going to do is go down through all these beads here in the center. Here. And I'm going to cut across here. And I'm going to go up through these beads here and into the pearl. And I'm just going to work my way around by exiting here, my pearl. If I have, my dangles aren't in my way. There we go. And exit out of the pearl. So I'm just going to go and see if I can fix that. And I need to be way over here. So I have to go and weave my thread all the way through all these pearls, the back. You ain't going to see my thread because I'm going to go through my path and go around up through those 4 beads. Through this pearl, through the back of it. It just makes it easier than trying to weave through all those tiny beads and between all the I need to be in this one here, so I still have a ways to go. Wait. Yeah. Through this pearl up into these 4 beads. Actually, I remember I told you I was going to cut this tail off because we've really secured that. Okay. Through the pearl. Back down through here, 4 beads. And it's actually just reinforcing this as well, going through all these beads again. So now I'm at where I made my mistake. So what I'm going to do is go up through the 4 and back into the pearl. But I'm going to come out of the front of this pearl now, without snagging all those beads. Which you can see I'm already doing. There we go. And I'm going to go back down these 5, and hopefully I can correct what I just did here. Through here, because I want to fix this. And up through these 3. So, not easy to do. Rather than take this all apart, I'll try my best to correct it. And now I'll go and attach them to these 5 beads here. Like so. Stupid fly. And pull. So as you can see now, it's not 100%, but it's way better than what it was, because now my front here isn't pulling down and curling up on me. So all you're going to do now is tie some half hitch knots. So I am through some beads here. So let me just go through my 8 beads, exit in my pearl, and then I'm going to go around and start tying half hitch knots. So let's go into the pearl at the back. And as you can see, it's pretty much fixed up. So you can pretty much kind of fix up your airs where you don't have to pull all your work out. I really love these purple ones. It's gorgeous, really gorgeous. So this is why we got Tic Toc. So let's just tie some half hitch knots in these 4 beads. So between the beads, the back and the pearls, the 4 beads and the pearls, let's tie 2 wraps, pull tight, and exit into your pearl. Okay, pick the thread between the pearl and the 11-0s. Hopefully I snagged it. 2 wraps, pull tight, and up into the 4 beads, your 4 that you put on the back here. Alright, and back through the pearl, but I want to tie a half hitch knot here if I can, so I can slide it into the pearl. Nope, that went into the bead. I want to snag the thread under the bead, under the 4, and between the pearl. It don't look like it's going to let me, so I'm just going to keep going through my beads. See what I can come up with here. I think that's enough. Good enough. It's tied up. 2 double knots. That's good. And tie it up. Cut it. And there you go. There's your Tic Toc pendant. Like I said, you don't have to put your fringe on. You could just do this part of your pendant. It's good and strong and sturdy. It will hold your fringe. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you have fun making this as I had fun designing it. And I'll see you all soon on the next video. Bye-bye.